Stop crying like a week-old goat. Your tears are useless. I wish you were never my mother. Amara stood in the doorway of their small mud house, her dark eyes cold as stone. Her mother, Mama Kessia, sat on the wooden stool, tears streaming down her weathered cheeks like raindrops on dry earth. The woman who had carried her for 9 months, who had sung her to sleep with Swahili lullabies, who had worked her fingers to the bone selling cassava in the market. This same woman was now broken, crying over a letter from her daughter. But instead of comfort, instead of the love a daughter should show, Amara opened her mouth and spoke words so cruel, so heartless, that even the ancestors seemed to gasp from beyond. Stop crying like a week-old goat. Your tears are useless. I wish you were never my mother. The moment those words left her lips, something shifted in the air. The birds outside stopped singing. The wind went completely still. Even the sun seemed to dim behind the clouds. Mama Kessia's crying stopped instantly, and she looked up at her 15-year-old daughter with eyes so full of pain that they seemed to pierce through Amara's very soul. What Amara didn't know, what she couldn't have known in that moment of cruel anger, was that this would be the last conversation she would ever have with her mother. And what happened next? What the spirits of their ancestors did to teach this ungrateful daughter a lesson. It was something so shocking, so unbelievable, that it would haunt not just Amara, but everyone in their village of Kibera for generations to come. But to understand how a loving daughter became so heartless, we must go back to where it all began. 3 months earlier, life in the Kibera slum was hard, but Amara's family had love. Their house was small, just 2 rooms made of mud walls and a rusty iron roof, but it was filled with laughter. Mama Kessia would wake up before dawn every day, her dark skin glistening with morning dew as she prepared ugali for breakfast. The smell of cooking maize flour would fill their tiny home, making Amara's stomach rumble with hunger. "Amara, my beautiful daughter," Mama Kessia would say, her voice as warm as honey, "come eat before school." Back then, Amara would run to her mother and hug her tight. She loved the way Mama Kessia smelled like the sweet flowers she sometimes bought from the market. She loved how her mother's strong arms felt around her, making her feel safe from all the dangers of the slum. Mama Kessia worked so hard for her daughter. Every morning at 5 a.m., she would walk 2 miles to the big market in the city center. She carried a large basket on her head, filled with cassava, sweet potatoes, and sukuma wiki vegetables that she had bought from farmers outside the city. Under the hot African sun, she would sit on a small wooden stool, calling out to customers. "Fresh cassava, sweet potatoes, come buy from me." Her voice would get hoarse by evening, but she never complained. Every coin she earned went toward Amara's school fees, her uniforms, her books. Mama Kessia had dreams for her daughter, dreams that she would get an education, become a teacher or a nurse, and lift their family out of poverty. Education is the only way out of this place. Mama Kessia would tell Amara while helping her with homework by candlelight. "You are smart, my daughter, smarter than anyone in this whole slum. You will make our family proud." Amara was indeed smart. She was the best student in her class at the small school made of corrugated iron sheets. Her teacher, Mr. Odieno, always praised her in front of other students. "This girl," he would say, pointing at Amara, "this girl has a brain like a computer. She will go far in life." But success can sometimes plant bad seeds in a young person's heart. As Amara got older and kept winning academic awards, something began to change inside her. She started to look down on other children in the slum. She began to think she was better than everyone else, including her own mother. "Why do I have to live in this dirty place?" she would complain to her friends at school. "Look at how poor my mother is. Look at her rough hands from working. I'm embarrassed to be seen with her." Her friends, who came from equally poor families, would look at her with shock. In African culture, respect for parents, especially mothers, was sacred. It was like breathing or drinking water. You just didn't question it. But Amara's pride was growing like a dangerous weed. The change became worse when she met Grace, a girl from a rich family who had been sent to their school as punishment for bad behavior at her expensive private school. Grace wore clean uniforms, had a smartphone, and her father drove a big car. Grace took one look at Amara's torn shoes and faded uniform and made her an offer that would poison her heart forever. "You're too smart to be living in this garbage dump," Grace said during lunch break, her voice dripping with false sweetness. "If you want, I can talk to my father. He knows people who can get you a scholarship to a boarding school in Nairobi. You could leave this place forever." Amara's eyes lit up like stars. "Really? You would do that for me?" "Of course," Grace smiled, but her smile was like a snake's. "But you have to prove you're serious about changing your life. You have to show that you're not attached to this primitive lifestyle." "What do you mean?" Grace looked around at the other poor children eating their simple lunches and wrinkled her nose in disgust. "You have to stop acting like you belong here. Stop being so emotional about your mother and this place. Rich people don't cry over small things. They don't get attached to poor people, even if those poor people are family." These words planted a terrible seed in Amara's young heart. She began to see her mother's love and sacrifice not as something beautiful, but as something shameful. She started to believe that caring about poor people, even her own mother, was a sign of weakness. Over the next few weeks, Amara became colder and colder toward Mama Kessia. When her mother would ask about her day at school, Amara would roll her eyes and say, "You wouldn't understand. You're not educated like me." When Mama Kessia would save money to buy Amara a small treat, maybe a piece of sugarcane or a roasted maize cob, Amara would take it without saying thank you, as if she deserved it. The worst part was how she started treating her mother in public. One day, while Mama Kessia was selling vegetables in the market, Amara walked by with Grace and her other school friends. Mama Kessia's face lit up when she saw her daughter. "Amara, my beautiful girl," she called out, waving excitedly. But instead of going to greet her mother, Amara pretended she didn't hear. She kept walking, her head held high, while her mother's smile slowly faded into confusion and hurt. Grace laughed beside her. "Good girl. You're learning." But the ancestors were watching. In African tradition, the spirits of those who came before us never stop caring for their families. They watch over each generation, blessing those who honor their parents and bringing consequences to those who bring shame. And what Amara was doing, the way she was treating the woman who had given her life, was stirring up forces beyond her understanding. Strange things began happening around their home. Their neighbor, an old woman named Mama Wanjiku, who was known to have the gift of seeing spirits, started giving Amara worried looks. "That child," she whispered to other women in the community. "She is walking on dangerous ground. The ancestors are not pleased." Birds began acting strangely around Amara. Crows would gather outside their house and call loudly whenever she came home. Her mother's vegetable plants, which had always grown well, started wilting for no reason. Even the family's old dog, Simba, who had always loved Amara, began to avoid her, whimpering when she tried to pet him. But Amara, blinded by her pride and her dreams of escaping poverty, ignored all the signs. She was too focused on impressing Grace and earning that scholarship to notice that the spiritual world was sending her warnings. The breaking point came on a Tuesday morning in October. Mama Kessia had been feeling sick for weeks, but she had hidden it from Amara because she didn't want her daughter to worry about her studies. She had been having terrible pains in her stomach, and sometimes she would cough up blood, but she couldn't afford to go to the hospital. Instead, she worked even harder, taking on extra jobs cleaning houses for wealthy families in the rich part of town. She would leave home at 4 a.m. and return at 9 p.m., exhausted and in pain, but always with enough money to pay for Amara's school fees. That Tuesday morning, a letter arrived that would change everything. It was delivered by a young man on a motorcycle, official government mail. Mama Kessia's hands shook as she opened it, and as she read the contents, her strong face crumbled like a wall hit by a hammer. The letter was from the hospital. The free clinic had finally gotten back the results of some tests she had done months ago when the pain became unbearable. The words on that paper were like a death sentence. Advanced stomach cancer. The disease had spread too far. Without expensive treatment that they could never afford, she had maybe 3 months to live. 3 months. Mama Kessia sat on her wooden stool, the letter falling from her hands like a dying bird. For the first time since Amara was born, the strong woman who had faced every hardship with courage began to cry. Not the gentle tears of sadness, but the deep, broken sobs of a mother who realized she would have to leave her child alone in this cruel world. That's when Amara walked in from school, her uniform clean and pressed, her head full of dreams about her scholarship and her bright future. She saw her mother crying and felt nothing but embarrassment and anger. "Stop crying like a week-old goat," she shouted, throwing her school bag on the ground. "Your tears are useless. I wish you were never my mother." And in that moment, as those cruel words hit Mama Kessia like physical blows, something in the spiritual realm snapped like a rope pulled too tight. The ancestor spirits who had been watching, who had been sending warning after warning, decided that enough was enough. What happened next was so shocking, so supernatural, that everyone who witnessed it would never forget it for as long as they lived. The silence that followed Amara's cruel words was not normal. It was the kind of silence that comes before lightning strikes, before earthquakes split the ground open, before the world itself decides to teach a lesson that will never be forgotten. Mama Kessia stopped crying instantly. She looked up at her daughter with eyes that seemed to see right through to Amara's soul. But something else was looking through those eyes too. Something ancient, something powerful, something that had been waiting for this exact moment. "My daughter," Mama Kessia said, her voice strangely calm, "do you really wish I was never your mother?" Amara, still burning with anger and embarrassment, crossed her arms and lifted her chin high. "Yes, I wish I had a rich mother who doesn't embarrass me with her tears and her dirty hands." The moment those words left her mouth, the temperature in the room dropped so fast that both mother and daughter could see their breath in the air. The candles that were burning suddenly went out, even though there was no wind. Outside, dogs began howling all across the slum, a sound so mournful it made people stop whatever they were doing and look around in fear. Mama Kessia stood up slowly, and as she did, she seemed to grow taller. Her shadow on the wall behind her looked strange. It wasn't the shadow of one person, but of many people standing together, as if all their ancestors had gathered behind her. "If that is truly what you wish," Mama Kessia said, her voice now carrying the weight of generations, "then let the spirits grant your request." She raised her right hand toward the ceiling, and when she spoke again, it wasn't just her voice anymore. It was the voice of her grandmother, her great-grandmother, and all the mothers who had come before, speaking through her. "Ancestors of our bloodline, you have heard this child's words. She wishes I was never her mother. She rejects the woman who carried her, who fed her, who sacrificed everything for her future. Grant her wish. Let her see what life would have been if her prayer was answered." Amara felt a chill run down her spine, but her pride was still too strong. "I'm not afraid of your silly superstitions, old woman." Thunder crashed outside, even though there were no storm clouds in the sky. The ground beneath their house began to shake, just slightly, as if the earth itself was angry. And then, something impossible happened. Mama Kessia began to fade, not like a person walking away, but like a photograph left in the sun too long. Her body became transparent, like she was made of smoke instead of flesh and blood. Amara could see right through her to the wall behind. What's happening?" Amara stammered, her arrogance finally cracking. "You wished I was never your mother," Mama Kessia's voice echoed, growing fainter with each word. "Now you will live in a world where that wish came true. You will experience the life you would have had if I never existed. Maybe then you will understand the value of what you threw away." "Wait!" Amara reached out, suddenly terrified, but her hands passed right through her mother's fading form. "I didn't mean it. Come back." But it was too late. Mama Kessia smiled one last time, a smile full of sadness and love, and then she disappeared completely, as if she had never existed at all. Amara spun around, calling for her mother, but the house was empty. She ran outside, shouting, "Mama!
Mama Kessia!
Where are you?" But none of the neighbors even looked at her. They went about their business as if nothing had happened. Confused and scared, Amara ran to Mama Wanjiku's house. The old woman was sitting outside, weaving a basket.
Mama Waneiku.
Amara cried, "Have you seen my mother?"
Mama Kesia?
She was just here and then she disappeared. Mama Wanjiku looked at her with confusion.
Mama Kesia?
Child, who are you talking about? I don't know anyone by that name. Amara's heart began beating so fast it felt like a drum in her chest. My mother. She sells vegetables in the market. She lives right there. She pointed to her house. That house. Mama Wanjiku shook her head. That's been empty for years. No one lives there. Amara ran back to her house and pushed open the door. Inside, everything was different. The house was completely empty. No furniture. No cooking pots, no family photos. No signs that anyone had ever lived there. Dust covered everything, and spider webs hung in the corners like the house had been abandoned for years. This is impossible, Amara whispered, her voice echoing in the empty space. She ran to her room, but it wasn't her room anymore. It was just an empty space with cracked walls and a dirt floor. All her school books were gone. Her clothes were gone. Her bed was gone. Even her school bag had vanished. Panic rising in her throat like bile, Amara ran to the market where her mother sold vegetables every day. She searched every stall, asked every vendor, but no one knew Mama Kesia. The spot where her mother had sat for years selling cassava and sweet potatoes was occupied by a different woman entirely. A woman who looked at Amara like she was crazy when she asked about Mama Kesia. I've been selling here for 15 years, the woman said. There's never been anyone by that name in this market. Amara ran to her school, hoping her teachers would remember her. But when she got there, more impossible things waited for her. She found her classroom and burst through the door, interrupting the lesson. Mr. Odieno, she gasped. It's me, Amara, your best student. The teacher looked at her with the same confused expression everyone else had given her. I'm sorry, but I don't know you. Are you lost? Do you even go to this school? Yes, I'm in your class. I sit right there in the front row. I won the math competition last month. Mr. Odieno shook his head. Young lady, I think you're confused. There's no student named Amara in my class. In fact, that front desk you're pointing to has been empty all year because we don't have enough students to fill it. Amara looked around the classroom, and her blood turned cold. All her classmates were there, but they were looking at her like she was a complete stranger. Even Grace, the rich girl who had filled her head with poisonous ideas, stared at her with no recognition at all. Grace, Amara pleaded. You know me. You promised to help me get a scholarship. Grace wrinkled her nose in disgust. I don't know who you are, but you smell terrible and your clothes are dirty. Security should remove you from our school. For the first time, Amara looked down at herself. Her school uniform was gone. Instead, she was wearing torn, filthy rags that looked like they hadn't been washed in months. Her shoes had holes in them, and her feet were dirty and cut. She looked like one of the street children, the orphans who begged for food and slept in doorways. No, 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 she whispered, running her hands over her ragged clothes. This isn't real. This can't be real. But it was real. The ancestors had granted her cruel wish. In this new reality, Mama Kesia had never existed, which meant Amara had never been born to her. Instead, she had been born to no one. She was an orphan, a street child with no family, no home, no education, no future. As this terrible truth sank in, Amara stumbled out of the school and into the streets of Nairobi. For the first time in her life, she truly understood what it meant to be alone in the world. Without a mother's love, without a family's support, without anyone who cared whether she lived or died. She walked through the city like a ghost, watching other children with their mothers. She saw mothers buying their daughters new shoes, helping them with homework, braiding their hair with gentle hands. Each sight was like a knife twisting in her heart, because now she knew what she had thrown away. As night fell, Amara found herself in a dark alley, shivering with cold and hunger, her stomach cramped with emptiness. She hadn't eaten all day and had no money to buy food. This was her reality now. No warm home to return to, no mother to cook ugali for her, no loving arms to hold her when she was scared. Other street children gathered around a small fire made from burning trash. They looked at her with suspicious eyes. "This is our spot," one of the older boys said. "Find your own place." "Please," Amara begged, tears streaming down her face. "I have nowhere to go." "None of us do," a girl about her age said harshly. "That's what being an orphan means. You should know that by now." As Amara huddled in a doorway, cold and alone, she finally understood the full weight of what she had done. Her mother hadn't just been embarrassing or poor. She had been everything. The reason Amara had food, shelter, education, dreams for the future. The reason she existed at all. "Mama," she whispered into the darkness. "I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Please come back. Please forgive me." But the night only answered with cold wind and the distant sound of other people's families going home to warm houses and loving embraces. Things Amara would never have again. Or would she? Because somewhere in the spiritual realm, the ancestors were not finished with their lesson. And Mama Kessia, watching from beyond, still had one more surprise that would change everything once again. 3 days passed in the nightmare world where Amara didn't exist as anyone's daughter. 3 days of sleeping in cold doorways, begging for scraps of food, being chased away from shops and schools like a stray dog. Her beautiful school uniform had been replaced by torn rags that smelled of garbage and desperation. Her soft hands, once protected by her mother's love, were now cut and dirty from searching through trash bins for anything to eat. On the third night, as rain poured down on the city, Amara found shelter under a broken bridge where other homeless children gathered. She was shivering, hungry, and more alone than she had ever imagined possible. The other street children had formed their own groups, their own families, but none of them accepted her. She was new, weak, and still crying for a mother they said never existed. "Stop crying about some imaginary mama," sneered Juma, a boy who had been living on the streets since he was 7. "Crying won't bring you food. Crying won't make you strong. Out here, you only have yourself." But Amara couldn't stop crying. Every tear was a prayer. Every sob was an apology to the mother she had treated so cruelly. As she sat there in the rain, watching rats run between the garbage, she whispered the same words over and over.
"Mama, I'm sorry."
"I understand now. I understand how much you loved me. Please, if you can hear me, please forgive me. I would give anything to hug you one more time, to say thank you for everything you did for me." Unknown to Amara, her words were traveling beyond the physical world. In the realm where spirits dwell, Mama Kessia had been watching her daughters suffering with a heart full of pain. Even though the ancestors had granted Amara's wish as a lesson, a mother's love doesn't die, not even when that mother no longer exists in the world of the living. The ancestor spirits gathered around Mama Kessia, their forms shimmering like heat waves in the spiritual plane. "She has learned," said the spirit of Mama Kessia's grandmother, a wise woman who had raised 7 children during the time of colonial rule. "Look how she suffers. Look how she finally understands." "But the lesson must be complete," warned the spirit of Mama Kessia's great-grandmother, a woman who had survived famines and wars. "Words of regret are easy when you're suffering. True understanding comes from the heart, not from desperation." Mama Kessia, her spiritual form glowing with the same love she had always carried for her daughter, stepped forward. "Let me test her heart. Let me see if her sorrow is real or if it's just the selfishness of wanting her comfortable life back." The ancestors nodded, and Mama Kessia descended back toward the world of the living, invisible to everyone except her daughter. Amara was still crying under the bridge when she felt a familiar warmth beside her. She looked up, and there, sitting on the wet concrete as if she belonged there, was a woman she had never seen before. The woman was old, probably in her 70s, with gray hair and worn clothes, but her eyes were kind and familiar. "Why are you crying, my child?" the old woman asked, her voice gentle like a lullaby. "I lost my mother," Amara sobbed. "I said terrible things to her, and now she's gone forever. I can never tell her I'm sorry. The old woman moved closer and put her arm around Amara's shaking shoulders. Tell me about your mother. She was everything. Amara's voice broke as the words poured out. She worked so hard for me. Every day, she would wake up before the sun and walk miles to the market. She would sit there all day selling vegetables just so I could go to school. Her hands were rough and cracked from all the work, but they were the gentlest hands in the world when she braided my hair or helped me with my homework. The old woman listened quietly, her eyes never leaving Amara's face. She never bought herself new clothes, Amara continued, but she made sure I had a clean uniform for school. She never ate meat, but she would save her coins to buy me a piece of chicken on my birthday. When I was sick, she would stay awake all night, putting cool cloths on my forehead and singing to me until the fever broke. She sounds like she loved you very much. She did. Amara cried harder. She loved me more than life itself, and I was so cruel to her. I was embarrassed by her poverty. I was angry that she wasn't rich like other people's mothers. I told her I wished she was never my mother, and now, she couldn't finish the sentence. The old woman was quiet for a long moment. Then she asked, "If you could see her again, what would you say?" I would tell her I'm sorry. I would tell her that she was the best mother in the world, that I was too stupid and selfish to see it. I would tell her that I love her more than anything, that I'm proud to be her daughter. I would beg her to forgive me. And if she forgave you, what would you do differently? Everything, Amara said without hesitation. I would never be ashamed of her again. I would help her in the market. I would study hard, not to escape from her, but to make her proud. I would take care of her when she's sick. I would tell everyone how amazing she is. I would spend every day showing her how grateful I am for all her sacrifices. The old woman smiled, and suddenly her face began to change. The wrinkles smoothed out, the gray hair turned black. The worn clothes became the familiar faded dress that Mama Kessia always wore. Amara gasped as she realized she was looking at her mother, not as a stranger, but as the woman who had given her life. "Manga," Amara whispered, afraid to believe her eyes. "Yes, my beautiful daughter. It's me." Amara threw herself into her mother's arms, holding her so tight she never wanted to let go. "Mama, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Please forgive me." Mama Kessia stroked her daughter's hair, the same way she had done when Amara was a little girl afraid of thunderstorms. "I forgive you, my child. I forgave you the moment you spoke those cruel words, because that's what mothers do. We love our children even when they hurt us. But I don't deserve your forgiveness," Amara sobbed. "I was so terrible to you. I said such awful things." "Yes, you did," Mama Kessia said gently but honestly. "Your words cut my heart like knives. But I also saw what was behind those words. A young girl who was confused, who was listening to the wrong voices, who forgot where she came from. The ancestors wanted you to learn this lesson not to punish you, but to save you from becoming someone you would hate." "I understand now," Amara said. "I understand that you are my blessing, not my burden. That your love is the most precious thing in the world. That without you, I am nothing." Mama Kessia pulled back to look at her daughter's face. "And I understand something too. I was so busy working and sacrificing that I forgot to teach you where all these blessings came from. I should have shown you more about our culture, about respecting family, about understanding that poverty doesn't make someone less valuable. Will you teach me now?" Amara asked hopefully. "We will teach each other," Mama Kessia smiled. "But first, we need to go home." As soon as Mama Kessia spoke those words, the world around them began to shimmer and change. The dark bridge dissolved like smoke, the rain stopped, and suddenly they were standing in front of their small house in Kibera. But it wasn't empty anymore. Warm light glowed from inside, and Amara could smell ugali cooking on the fire. "How is this possible?" Amara asked in wonder. When a child truly learns to honor her mother, when the lesson is complete and the heart is changed, the ancestors restore what was taken, Mama Kessia explained. "But Amara, this second chance comes with a price." "What price?" "I'll pay anything." Mama Kessia's expression became serious. The letter I received about my sickness, that was real. I have cancer, and I don't have much time left in this world. Maybe 3 months, maybe less. Amara's heart dropped, but this time, instead of anger or denial, she felt something different, determination. Then we won't waste a single day, she said firmly. I will take care of you the way you took care of me. I will make sure every day we have left is filled with love and gratitude. And when it's time for you to join the ancestors, you'll know that you raised a daughter who finally learned to love properly. Mama Kessia's eyes filled with tears, but these were tears of joy, not sorrow. That is all any mother could ask for. As they walked toward their house together, hand in hand, the other neighbors began to appear. Mama Wanjiku waved from her doorway. Children ran past playing games, and life in the slum returned to normal. But nothing was really normal anymore, because both mother and daughter had been forever changed by their journey through loss and forgiveness. Over the next 3 months, Amara kept her promise. She helped her mother in the market every day after school, carrying the heavy basket and calling out to customers with enthusiasm instead of embarrassment. She studied harder than ever, but now her goal was to honor her mother's memory, not to escape from her. When Mama Kessia became too sick to work, Amara took over the vegetable business, using everything her mother had taught her. She made sure they had enough money not just for food, but for the pain medicine that helped her mother rest peacefully. Most importantly, she spent hours every evening listening to her mother's stories about their ancestors, about the strength of African women, about the power of family love. She learned traditional songs and prayers, and she promised to pass them on to her own children someday. You have become the daughter I always dreamed you would be, Mama Kessia said one evening as Amara helped her get ready for bed. Not because you're successful or educated, but because you have learned to love with your whole heart. I learned from the best teacher, Amara replied, kissing her mother's forehead. When Mama Kessia passed away peacefully 3 months later, surrounded by love instead of cruelty, the entire community mourned. But they also celebrated, because they had witnessed something miraculous, a daughter who had learned to honor her mother before it was too late. At the funeral, as the whole slum gathered to pay their respects, Amara stood up to speak. My mother was not rich in money, but she was the richest woman in the world because she knew how to love. She taught me that our parents are not our burdens. They are our blessings. That the hands that work hard for us are more beautiful than any jewelry. That the heart that sacrifices for our future is more precious than any treasure. Her voice rang out clear and strong as she continued. I almost lost this lesson forever because I was foolish and proud. But the ancestors and my mother's love gave me a second chance. I'm sharing this story so that other children won't make the same mistake I did. Honor your mothers while you have them. Love them not despite their struggles, but because of their strength. Thank them not tomorrow, but today. As Amara spoke these words, a gentle wind blew through the gathering, and those who were sensitive to spiritual things swear they could see Mama Kessia standing behind her daughter, her face glowing with pride and peace. The story of the girl who mocked her mother's tears became legend in Kibera and beyond. Parents told it to their children as a warning and a blessing. And Amara, now a grown woman with children of her own, still visits her mother's grave every week, bringing flowers and sharing the news of her life. Thank you, Mama, she always whispers, for loving me enough to let me learn the hard way. And thank you, ancestors, for giving me the chance to love her back. Sometimes, if you listen carefully to the wind in that cemetery, you can still hear the echo of a mother's laughter, full of joy that her daughter finally understands the most important lesson of all, that a mother's love is the closest thing to heaven that exists on this earth. And in the spiritual realm, Mama Kessia watches over not just Amara, but all the children who read the story, hoping they will learn to see their parents' love before it's too late, and spare themselves the heartbreak of loving someone only after they're gone. The ancestors smile, knowing that one more child has learned the ancient wisdom, that honoring our parents is not just a rule, it's the key to unlocking all the blessings life has to offer. But this story doesn't end here, because Amara's children are growing up now, and they face their own tests and challenges in a world that tries to make them forget their roots and their family's love. What lessons will they need to learn? What mistakes will they make? And how will the ancestors guide the next generation? That, perhaps, is a story for another day. Comment part 2.